Boys, very exciting times. We finally did it. This is the scope. We made it to episode 2. 95% of podcasts don't do that. It's a made up stat, but I think it's probably true, to be honest.
It's probably pretty accurate.
Yeah,
it's probably very accurate.
Yeah, I feel like most people get a first one and then that's it. But here we are with a second, and I'm excited. It's gonna be a great day. We have some fantastic guests here joining us. Shrimzy shaved, so he looks like a child, and it's all good. True. But very, very quickly, guys, this is the scope. Obviously, PUBG podcast. Great guests every week. Well, we say every week, but we skipped week 2, so whatever. Bi-weekly. Let's just say it's just bi-weekly now. Let's just do that.
Play it safe.
Yeah. Obviously, this podcast, episode 1 is up on YouTube. This one will be up on YouTube tomorrow. Got to wait 24 hours, and then it will be up there, so everyone will be able to watch it. If you guys miss it live, it'll be there. It's awesome. And if you guys do get to see these live, or you're watching it on YouTube, twitch.tv/Jabroni. That's where it'll be. I tweet about when it's going to be all the time, so you should know. You should be ready. Who just cracked a drink? I like it. Good decisions.
Definitely Tribizzle.
Yeah. Instantly, as soon as the cameras come on. All right, boys, let's get it.
I was waiting for us to go downstairs and get me. Oh,
yeah, sure. All right. Well, here's the situation. Before we get started and hop into any topics, we're going to go through, introduce everybody on board. So very quickly, guys, one at a time, I will go through and just tell me a little bit about yourself, what you do, your role in PUBG, and all of that cool stuff. Now, Mr. Tribizzle, I will start with you, sir. Go ahead.
Yep, I'm an ex-pro player. I'm not. I'm Tribizzle, the general manager of the Soniqs. What do I do in PUBG? Not a lot. I guess I try and put a team together and not lose too much money whilst being in the scene.
Instant shots.
What?
Instant.
No, not.
No. Go ahead. Sorry.
He barely got through his intro.
Go ahead.
I've been involved in PUBG since way since the beginning. So yeah, I'm just hanging on, seeing where it's going.
Okay.
Looking forward to watching PGC. We'll go from. I'll just stop there.
Yeah. Just so everybody knows.
Pros play.
Yeah. Just when we first.
Wait. I won one of the very first PUBG tournaments. So there you go.
Is that right? Which one?
Yep. The one that we hosted. On my team was Sharky, Reptar, and Corriba, and we won it.
Wow.
So actually, am I the only person in here who's won something?
Yikes.
I'm Tribizzle, and I won my own tournament. All right. Well, yeah. As soon as when we were talking before even starting, like it started off with Tribizzle being like, "Hey, can I say this, and just asking away on what he's allowed to talk about." So, should be interesting. And yeah, I've known you now. It's like what, a year and a halh at least. Met you. Least, yeah. I don't even know Sweden, where the first time. Maybe.
Was it
maybe?
Or was
could have been Burbank if you were there.
No, it was Burbank probably.
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah, because you just started a Ghost and you said to me that you were undefeated on LAN, and then we beat you.
I was undefeated on LAN. Yes, that is true.
I'm technically an even more successful coach than you.
That's
Jesus, I'm good at it. Hey, I'm fucking good at this.
Oh man! All right, the shot. All right, shut your mouth. All right, so let's keep it going. Shrimzy, brother Shrimzy, please introduce yourself. Tell us who you are. All about Tristan.
Hi, I'm Tristan Shrimzy Noiki. I play for Ghost Gaming. I haven't been, important at all for a very long time. Used to not be important at all, barely important now. We're going to PGC. We went to GLL. The biggest streamer on Twitch now when it comes to PUBG. Twitch.tv Shrimzy, Twitter.tv, Shrimzy PUBG. Yeah, that's basically it. Funny personality, nice guy, big. Okay. Yeah. All
right. Well, good introduction, I guess. Definitely taking your opportunity there. I can appreciate that. Hypoc, please. I have to say, the smoothest player to anything else transition I have seen in my life. Brother Hypoc, please introduce yourself.
Wait, you just introed me.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, I helped you out a little bit. I helped you out a little.
Nothing else to say there. No, anyway, I guess washed ex-pro, used to be on Y10 Fate, now transitioned into casting PUBG, and there you go.
And that's
I
it.
like it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you
I like it.
you kind of stole the thunder of the intro there. How much?
Well, I wanted to warm you up a little bit, just kind of get a little hype in there for like, yeah, this is
just
fucking,
edge,
this
edge
is
me a
fucking-
little. Thank
I
you.
got fucking Hypoc here, guys. All right. Tiikzu, Mr. Crow Crowd, the PGC bound. Tiikzu, please introduce yourself.
Because you asked, I'm Tiikzu and I play for Crow Crowd.
Yeah, just
Done.
I knew.
He's
I
pulled a
knew.
Sharky.
I knew
Pulled a
that was
Sharky.
coming. I knew that was coming. Absolutely. Well, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. And of course, last but not least, one of the most loved people ever in PUBG ever, Gunner.
Thank you. That's my intro. No, my name is Gunner. Some people know me as MachineGunner, whatever you prefer. I've been in PUBG since the start, like the PUBG Online days. Recently, I transitioned to coaching Lazarus. Shout out to the Lazarus boys in the chat. I see you on Civil's party. Don't know where Alo is, or Luke. But you know what? I'm sure they'll come and show me some support.
And I hope so.
Yeah, so phase 3, I'm coaching Lazarus, and we're going to PGC. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, you're absolutely welcome. Yeah.
Best coach I know.
The absolute whoa. All right. Well, this will be your first and last time here, Shrimzy. But I have to say, Gunner, congratulations. Going to PGC. That's this is exciting. We have 3 people
You
here
too.
that are attending PGC. Yeah. Well, I guess we have 4 if you count me, but we have 3 guests out of the 5 that are attending PGC. Hypoc a little to be determined. We'll see, but you better be there. That's all I'm saying.
I'm gonna assume he's going.
Yeah. You better be there. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm
What
saying.
happens if I'm going?
You gotta buy a ticket, and then you can be there.
Ouch.
No, I'm just kidding. All right, so here's the situation. We have a couple topics here lined up. I gave you guys a little, this is what we're gonna talk about. This is, yada yada. First and foremost, let's get into topic number 1. Recently, I don't know, it's been a couple months now. Erangel was remastered. Okay, obviously, competitively, we have not played it at all. We've been playing the old Erangel, and there's been whispers, there's been hints of potentially playing the new Erangel coming up. Now, I want everyone's opinion, and we'll start with Tiikzu and Shrimzy because you guys obviously are players, current players, on how you like or your first impressions of the new Erangel remake as a map.
I guess I'll start. I mean, I haven't played it competitively yet, but from like the face of games and public matches, seems like there's a lot more playable area, and it seems like it's gonna make the game flow a lot smoother and have a lot more like places to play, have more people alive, have more rotations, and just overall make it a better map in general to compared to what it used to be. Since there's some circles where there's just like, wow, we're fucking dead now because there's literally nowhere to go. We just have to crash this team, and it's just like an impossible crash. So overall, I like it more.
Like a more Tiikzu, what about you, man?
Yeah, I like it as well, like really much. Only thing I hate about the new Erangel is that they changed the color of yellow house. They're not yellow houses anymore.
They're blue. Yeah, that was actually something that we kind of talked about, because like everything is like, you want to call something a specific call, and it's like, oh, okay, we're going yellows, and then it's like, those aren't yellow, they're blue now. And there was some weird stuff like that, and it's like that awkward transition of like switching callouts. First of all, I see you all giving me shit about how I say Erangel. All right.
I was going to say.
I was waiting to chime in at some point to correct you, but I'm glad chat do it.
I've said it like that for 2 years, and I don't know if I can correct it now. I feel like it's
The weird
too
thing
late.
is, I don't know if you planted and Tiikzu just followed your suit, but I was
honestly,
Yeah.
as soon as I heard that, I was like, let's go. I'm not
Well,
alone.
he must have been like, shit, have I been saying it wrong all this time?
No, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it's been like 2 years. Now, on the do you say Erangel?
Erangel.
Erangel. See, dude, I don't know. I can't say that. I feel like I'm saying something in Lord of the Rings when I say that. Erangel, you know? I just can't.
I need this podcast has to be paused. It literally Tribizzle mentioned about winning his own tournament, and there's already a meme of him in my Discord, and I'm gonna post it. Literally, it was made in fucking 2 minutes. Look at this, and it literally says winning your own tournament. Winning your own tournament. That's
shit.
Where is it? Where is it?
He posted the link in
That's
chat.
what I'm saying.
He posted the link in chat.
I want to see this shit. Where is it?
Oh shit, that's actually good. Wow.
That was pretty good.
Well done, whoever accomplished that.
Where is it?
That was
So-
quick. Yeah, that was
so
quick.
quick.
Yeah.
He's already in
Who was it, Owen?
mud.
Okay.
Oh, great
While
job.
playing a League of Legends game, he
Great job.
accomplished that.
Great job.
Wait, where is this? Why can I not see this? Am I blind?
Yes.
Yes.
It's in Twitch chat.
It's the only link in Twitch chat.
Oh, I don't have Twitch chat open.
Oh,
there you go.
yeah, it's not.
that's some realism.
So where are you looking for it? Where are you like?
I was looking for it in the fucking this whatever.
I did
website
too.
you sent
He's
us.
Yes,
checking
I
his
was in the open
emails.
chat.
Jesus. All right.
Yeah.
Back on track.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Sorry.
go find the championship.
We're
game.
gonna
I'm
get we're gonna get sidetracked a
I'm
lot
gonna-
here, so just so everyone understands, it's a much more rowdy group this time around than episode 1, so it's gonna be a little different in that regard. Now, a few things that obviously on Erangel can't do it.
Nice.
That have altered is a few of the fields have been different. The beaches have been different. He gave himself a ring. The beaches have been different. Military. Now, and I've noticed a lot more cover, a lot more dips, a lot more trees, a lot more going on, rather than like the open fields, the open beaches that you could rotate on. Now, is that something that we like? Now, Shrimzy, you mentioned it a little bit where it's like, yeah, a lot of time we just have to crash a compound or something like that. Would you rather have all these small places you can play throughout the map on your way to there, like all these giant craters in the fields next to the roads, on the beaches and things like that? Or do you like the compound to compound fighting?
I mean, I think if there's an opportunity to stop somewhere closer to a compound instead of just crashing it, that's probably way better. And then having an opportunity to, get a knock closer and then crashing, so that maybe whenever you actually pull up, that guy is still knocked instead of already full rezzed and healed. And then just having to take like a shitty 4v4 where you probably get knocked out of your cars. So I guess in that aspect, yeah, it's way better. But at the same time, you probably are fucking just dead anyways, crashing something. So, I mean,
I think the important thing, like adding like viable options for stuff, is like it creates diversity for obviously viewers and obviously the teams as well. Like nobody wants to see like FaZe or Liquid have no other choice but to like YOLO crash a compound, right? And then obviously ultimately nobody wants to see FaZe die because they had no other choice, right? Like I guess the outplayability, if you could even call that a word,
Sure.
or like the outplay factor of something is what viewers want to see, and that's the biggest thing for the new Erangel for me. Is there's a lot of these situations now where a team is just fucked, right? They have to run in the open.
Right. No,
towards another
100%.
team
That
in a
definitely
building.
happens.
So I think that's going to be the difficult thing is we haven't really seen any kind of application of that in competitive play yet. But like what Shrimzy said is like bang on the money for me. Like it makes it more interesting to play. It makes it more interesting to watch.
Now you said, oh, sorry. Go ahead.
For someone who start playing after third, I only played third person. Will it make a difference to where people drop? Do you think, or anything like that? I mean, it's going to make a difference to rotation, right? If there's more.
Yeah, 100% the rotations have to,
someone
like,
who
a lot of
just-
them have to be altered.
It will.
Someone who
It'll.
just watches now.
It could change where people drop. Like, I think people will be able to drop a little more spread now because they added compounds. They added a lot of buildings. Like, even just for instance, like Quarry. Like Quarry is actually a viable drop spot now. There's like I think 7 warehouses I counted in Quarry. So like that's actually, and they're very easy to loot too. So it's just like you could
It's
easily
quick,
drop
yeah.
down there,
Quick,
loot it
yeah.
quick, and then just be gone with decent loot because you're looting warehouses. So I think it definitely adds like other options for people to drop or possibly spread out more, which I know teams are going to like to do. So yeah, it's 100%. It's an upgrade. I wish it came sooner, so like we actually had time to practice and then even possibly have played it in phase 3. But I mean, I think I think it should be good for the next next phase and next season. Like as long as we get like a month to scrim it and practice it, I think we should be good. That should basically be the bare minimum amount of time. I think that PUBG should allow us to practice and scrim on that map is a month minimum.
Okay, so let me. I want to double
So
back a
more
little
than
bit.
Hawk.
Yeah, I want to double back a little bit because Hypoc brought this up when you talked about the viewer experience a little bit with the new map compared to the old, where you don't want to see teams that pretty much have nothing to do. But isn't there also a viewer experience factor that's going to come into play with the organization of games? And I mean this when I'm talking about teams being able to have clean fights, 4v4s, and things of that nature. When you add in more cover, when you add in more places to hide, when you add in more places for teams to be closer to one another, it creates a situation where you're going to have a lot more teams that are not 4-up because they're going through fights, they're losing one, there's people closer. It's a lot of the fights will be a lot less organized. Is that going to hurt the viewer experience?
I guess that there's definitely a balance to find between the two, but I mean, creating more options is like there's a big thing everyone says in PUBG. You know, if you keep 4 alive, you like drastically improve your chances of winning the game, right? But as a team of 3, if you have more utility in terms of the map, the terrain, and spots to play and stuff, there's gonna be a factor. There's more emphasis on the outplay as opposed to, yeah, we came here circle 2. Now this team in circle 5 has to push us and they're fucked. Like we're gonna kill them.
Right.
Like that there for me is as a viewer. I mean, I don't want to see that. And again, I might not speak for the majority, but I want to see a situation where team A has to move, team B is in the compound, but they have options in how they want to execute on that compound, as opposed to, hey, you sit here with
it's the competitiveness, you know what I mean? Where it's
exactly.
like you don't want to see teams getting screwed where they're in positions where they don't have a play. The play is to die, and it's just how you want to, you know. And
I mean, the circle is a huge factor in this game. So to give teams more opportunities to counteract that RNG factor makes the gameplay better. I think because the RNG factor is always going to be there.
Right.
Making it less and less prominent is what I think would make PUBG more interesting to watch, because in terms of like gunplay and mechanics and stuff like that, I still stand by the fact that, you know, PUBG is the best battle royale for, you know, like a team fighting game, so to say. So like to absolutely minimize that, I think would be the best thing that could happen with Erangel 2.0 coming in.
On that note, in team fighting game, Hypoc, shouldn't they just like remove grenades then? Because let's be fair, that's the one thing I think ruins most viewing experience for me. Is that it's not so much gunplay; it's just who has the most grenades.
Again, that comes down to like consistency in terms of making sure that, you know, some teams can't come out of the loot phase with 8 nades per player, and others come out with 1, and also at the same time making it more of a, I guess, what we see a lot of now is players that, you know, picking up grenade kills, but they're literally looting. I mean, you can look at the stats. There are players that literally prioritize utility over other shit, which is fine. You know, play to your team's strengths. Again, not to put anybody on blast, but Kurt, I think, is one of the best grenade users in the MPL.
Lazarus love nades,
and absolutely fair play to them. But we need to get to a point where, is it okay for a team that's kind of, you know, got that game plan down and rightfully so? Are they able to? At what point does it become, you know, abuse of something that's? I don't mean, maybe abuse isn't the right word.
Exploit.
But, yeah,
I don't know. I'm just.
Yeah,
there was a clip of this last season where I'm just going to use my team as an example. So it's like my team, like there was like 4 teams left on, and our team must have thrown about 16 or 17 grenades.
Yeah, it was
the first game.
That's ridiculous. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like what the fuck?
There needs to be a way that, and I still agree with using the utility belt as you can hold 2 or 3 frag grenades, like one equipped and then 2 on your belt, and then smoke grenades.
Gunner will know how many grenades can you carry on a normal rig set.
You can have a lot.
I mean, you can have a lot. Again, there are players that have, they'll take a 5.56 AR or a Mini 14.
I'm talking about.
I mean, if you're talking about real grenades, right?
Yeah.
I'm
not talking about in game.
Oh, okay.
I mean, not too many
You're not,
realistically.
you're not going to be carrying like 10, are you? Let's be honest. I say 2
no,
maximum.
it's just
1 or 2.
it's not gonna happen. Yeah, basically, like you'd have like a flash or a stun or something like in your flak, and then
Oh my god, dude.
like real frag grenades.
Sorry, I'm
like,
having my internet died again there for a second. It's super annoying. I'm dropping like
Are you in the
200 frames.
ghost house right now, Jabroni?
No, I'm at the apartments, but I have like this Google Fiber
Yeah,
thing,
I
and
know
it's just
you're in the chat, right? Your boys' internet's struggling here.
yeah, I'm dropping frames, boys. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, no, come on,
And
this
it's
is-
and
this
it's
is-
literally
this is
been fine all day.
unacceptable.
As soon as we start, boom, it happened twice. Unbelievable, dude. Bunch of bullshit.
I
Yeah,
just come
bunch
back
of
to Nate's thing. I think it's important to find a balance because there's obviously this other thing where if a team, I mean, this is kind of touching on what Keenan just said in chat, but if a team sits on the edge of the circle and keeps getting shrinks and they're not fighting, they get to the end game and they're in a position where they can throw 16 nades.
right.
That again should never be like the team that's had to fight and use their utility shouldn't be at that much of a disadvantage just because they've opted to play the circles differently or been more or less favorable with RNG or whatever. There needs to be like a hard limit, I think.
Okay,
I just want, as a viewer, I just want to see gunfights. That's all I'm saying.
right.
Okay, so I've thought about this a lot, and the only okay, so obviously nades need to have a little bit of balance to them for sure. Like the amount you can carry. Should
This group
be
talks.
lowered, or however the fuck they want to do it.
This
It
group
should
talks.
be balanced. But I think so. Sandhawk, they purposely made it so that people would fight, right? Like they purposely put Sandhawk in so the viewers would just be able to see people fight all the time consistently, and they just need to take frags out of Sandhawk, like because that's what they want, right? They want to see people fight, and nades kind of ruin the whole fighting aspect of it. Like if
So-
they just took it out, then you'd have gunfights 4v4 all the time,
So-
and that would be so fun to watch.
Here's my thing. This is I know we got a little carried away on the nade thing here, but I want to say like kind of give my opinion on it. If you're pushing a compound and you're in a 4v4 team fight, right? Obviously you're not nading like throwing 10 nades into a dip. You're clearing the building, you're nading where you think somebody is to clear it, moving forward, trying to put pressure on that team and trying to kill that team. And in that regard, they're necessary because not having nades or not having those, like taking those away and being in a situation like that is going to make it so much more difficult. And-
I think that's such a lazy fix to just remove it.
Right.
Like,
I
there
completely
should
agree.
be a way to like balance that as part of like in terms of a team strategy or like a mechanic, a team fight mechanic. There is a way. It's just it's.
And I think
sloppy,
it is a
not-
limit. I think it is a limit. Now,
Yeah,
I think it's maximum like 4 per
I
team.
mean, yeah, just
Like,
put a
all the
cap
time.
on it, but you can never take it out. Like even they're talking about it in the chat. Like basically, if my team's pushing a compound and that the team in the compound has the benefit of being in like hard cover, we should be able to smoke our
Yeah.
way over to that compound and then nade inside just because they already have the advantage of being in that compound and having that hard cover where we don't making the push. So yeah, just make it a limit. We brought this up like recently. Some of us have talked to.
This has been
PUBG
talked about
Core.
so many times.
I know.
yeah. It really
So,
has. It really
All right,
has.
all right, sorry.
Just
No,
fucking
no.
limit the nades, all right? That's it. Okay, hold on. Let's stay on.
Just
Let's
making
stay on.
conversation.
Let's stay on new Erangel.
Erangel.
You nearly got it that time.
Erangel, whatever. Gunner, I want to go to
Holy
you
fuck.
here. All right,
Sure.
coaching a team in phase 3. You guys come away with second. It was a great performance. Now, a map like that, a map change like that, rotations being altered, being more difficult, but creating more cover. Is that something that you think would create more consistency in your team, and or even less if it was just more? It's going to be more chaotic fights probably, but we don't have just rotations and we don't have teams getting like circle becomes weaker. Let's be honest, right? Compounds become weaker. Is that going to benefit consistency and kind of put you in a team where you think the best teams are going to win, or is it something where you feel as though it's not going to alter that at all? It's going to be more of a messy fight area, like a messy end game.
Yeah, from just like a personal standpoint and my team, I think we would definitely benefit from it just because like I know my guys and I know my team and like I know that once we're able to like we're really gonna like dig deep and like explore that map completely and find take our rotations and what we do now and just alter them and make them better based off of the map and the terrain. But I don't really see like any downfall of like the new map for any team. Like it should basically be like, even a team that's doing poorly, they should look at this new map and be like, hey, well, what we're doing doesn't work, and like what it hasn't been working, but maybe with the addition of like different bowls, ridges, dips, defilade, everything, maybe we could change our play style up and then become a better team just based off of the fact that our current play style isn't working and is shit, and then we could alter it and work hard and fix what's wrong, what's going to go wrong, because there's a lot of teams, like obviously I'm not going to mention names, but like their plan is literally like hope they get a circle, and then if they don't, just take a fight that's not really like in their favor, and then they just die, or they just rotate poorly, and then they make it and they send it with 2 people alive to hopefully make it into end game circle, and it's just like over the long run of the entire phase, you're just not getting enough points to be consistent at all. So yeah, I mean, I think it's just gonna be great for pretty much every team and not just my own.
Okay, and Tiikzu, for you, going to PGC, right? There is a world here where they were teasing the idea of bringing 2.0. Now, Tiikzu, for you, there was a world where they were talking about playing Erangel 2.0 at PGC. Okay, so let's say hypothetically that happened. Would you be okay with it?
I would love it. I like, for real, I want to play the 2.0. I wanted it since it came out. Like, it just gives so much, like, because we talked about the crashing a compound is the only option. There's no, like, example, the melee base circles, which end on the airplanes and stuff.
Right.
There's nothing around it. But now on the 2.0, there's like so much cover. You don't need to crash. Like, everyone needs to crash that single area on the older Erangel. But the new one, there's so many dips that you can actually push by foot across the field and make a play from that.
And is that what we want? Do we want more teams playing by foot towards the late game, towards circle 4, 5, 6, and 7, rather than, driving around, slamming into compounds with their cars and having full crashes? Is that the PUBG experience that we're looking for? Tiikzu, I'm going to stick with you, and then I want Shrimzy on this as well. Like, is that how you want to play? Is that how you want to compete at the highest level?
I would say yes, because, like, who wants to see a full team blow up in a car because they try to crash? Like, that's, from a viewer like perspective, that's like a really, who enjoys that? Like, no one. And if you can get a 4 versus 4 fight because of those ridges and stuff, that's so much better.
Shrimzy?
I mean, I think the whole point of what they did in the new map was exactly what we're talking about, just like having more spots to play, having better areas to fight in. And I mean, I guess the goal is to have more people alive later in the game so that it's more chaotic towards the end and you get better fights and stuff like that. So yeah, I would love to play it. It'd be great.
Okay, that's interesting, because I am of the opinion that I do think that the new map, it's great for competitiveness, but I'm a little hesitant to think about the spectator point of view when it comes to right now. The game is somewhat organized for a spectator where they can understand this team is crashing that team. That makes sense to me. We're going to see them pull up in cars. There's going to be nade explosions. Cars are going to blow up. It's going to be sick. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to be excited. But when we get into, the field south of Yasnaya in an endgame on the new map, and there's people all over the place and all sorts of dips, it is going to be a chaotic mess. And that's kind of where I see it from that standpoint, that I do think there is a world there that it hurts the spectator being able to understand and keep up with an organized game. And that's kind of why I wanted to touch on a little bit. And it was good that you brought that up, Hypoc, because I kind of like fed right into it. So I do appreciate that. Now, that's enough of the difference of the two maps. Everyone seems to like it, which is great. You know, everyone's happy there. But
I mean, I never said I liked it.
okay, you shut your mouth. There was a tweet, obviously, Moses was talking about, and I think a couple other people, I think Wacky was a part of it as well. They were talking about PUBG. We have 4 maps right now, right? Most other BRs, 1. They were talking about a world where we have a 1-map game, okay? And I have been somewhat vocal on the fact that I think it was the biggest mistake that our games made, was having more than 1 map. I think that having 4 maps, queue times are out of control. We have like 25 different queues that people can queue into. It's completely ridiculous. I think it's hurt the game in a lot of senses, and it's kind of split, focus for PUBG Corp itself. I wanted anyone's opinion. I really don't mind, how you guys think about it. I would love to hear it on how you feel about that in a sense, and then we'll get into a little bit if we think we can achieve a 1-map system even so far 2 years down the road.
I mean, I'll go first. I'll go first.
Tumbleweed.
as someone who doesn't play the game anymore at all, I don't mind having more than 1 map in competitive. I do think that Miramar's slightly boring. I'll be honest. Problem is with only having 1 map is like if you compare it to the other BRs, say Fortnite. Fortnite is built in an engine where you can change it on the fly constantly. PUBG isn't. You're not going to be able to add and remove and destroy parts of the map on a regular basis. So I do think it needs more than 1 map. I like the fact that there's more than 1 map, but I just kind of feel like going from watching it. If it was only Erangel, you've got me questioning how I say this fucking map name now.
Yeah, blame chat. I could have just went through the whole thing saying Erangel, and it would have been fine.
Map, if it was only the original map, like there's only so many endings and so many, like it's kind of cookie cutter by, 2/3 through the game. Who's going to be top 3? Who's going to be top 4? Whatever. I think it could stale out a bit.
Just quickly on that, isn't Fortnite and PUBG? They're both UE4, so they're both like editable with the same editing tools anyway.
Yeah, but we're talking about PUBG Core and fucking Epic Games here. They one of them is willing to do stuff and the other one is
they don't have access.
H1Z1 reincarnate.
They don't have access to the Epic Games assets and stuff, but they still have the same tools and facilities to edit. Like
it's not going to happen. But that's not going to happen. That's a fucking dream world.
No, I'm saying they can. Whether or not they do it or not, it's possible because they're built in the same engine.
The question is like, what could, because it's a realistic shooter, what could they change?
I mean,
I can just add jet bikes all of a sudden. I mean, that shit would be awesome.
Yeah, but I don't need that as much as like the Erangel redesign is like what they did was a perfect example. I would love to see them just take, the southwest portion of the map and just, in 3 months from now, just completely redesign it, just completely change it. You know what I mean?
The only way I think it would work, Michael, is if they added destructible terrain. So people in compounds don't just automatically win games. You fucking attach like rocket launch, MTO3s or whatever to the bottom of your fucking grenade launchers and just blow yourself a hole in the side of a building. That's the only way I think it would work. Because otherwise, like I said, it's too easy to guess who's going to win games these days. Like it's too easy to be gifted a game.
So you think it would just become more or less stale because they wouldn't be able to update it and put enough nonsense like Fortnite does into the game that 1 map wouldn't keep up the entertainment value as much as others.
I mean, well, that's it. I mean, if you're going to play 1 map, it's got to have enough variation in that 1 map for it to be awesome. So like, instead of just, the circle's ended on these guys are in the hardcover, they're going to win the game. It's just who can eke out enough points along the way. You fucking add it. If they started adding in like, okay, you can pick up an RPG or you can strap a fucking RP like rocket launcher.
You love rocket launchers at this point. Jesus, you just keep.
This is it. I'm seeing people sit in the back, sit in buildings and win games. Like fucking let people blow the shit out of everything. If it's going to go to 1 map, everything needs to be dedicated to that 1 map. Just blow up fucking everything. You're in a building. I'm just gonna blow that building up from afar, and you guys are fucked. It's gonna be great.
I actually like the destructible building ideas.
Okay, but like, wait, but like, you're saying you want to add an RPG, but like, what? Can everybody get this fucking RPG? You can't have one team that has an.
All right, stay off the RPG. Let's worry about
Mortify makes a good point, but then the FPS goes to shit because, as we know, is about as well fucking optimized as an Intel Celeron 4 with Pentium 2 processor or whatever it is. Like,
I don't see FPS and optimization as an issue anymore for PUBG. If you look at where it came from, and again, like this is coming from, I used to play back when fucking me and Gunner would be hiding in a shack with 12 FPS, and you can't fucking do anything.
Yeah, I remember.
I don't see that as. I mean, I've played a reasonable amount of Fortnite, and even back in the day, like you would get dog shit frames if a lot's going on.
Yeah,
that's just.
I don't want. That was just me saying. My point would be the fact that I think the games, if it went down to one map, it'd be too similar. Over and over and over again. If we did 6 maps of Erangel a day,
Yeah,
I mean,
it'd be very samey.
Okay,
I like the idea of like the developing map, but it would need to be like fresh and on like either a monthly or bi-monthly. I still think the sweet spot is having 2 maps where everyone was against Miramar before it came in, and then now a lot
fucking
of teams
love
it,
Miramar,
and,
dude.
Yeah, and I think if you did that kind of like evolving, not really story, but like in terms of like making the map more dynamic, I think if you did that on a bi-monthly and didn't change too much, not like fucking 1 month Picardo is there and the next month it isn't, like
right.
like the wrong way to go about it. But I think definitely in terms of like outside of cities, adding small compounds, stuff like that would keep it fresh.
Was this even
Candy in there?
Was this even based? Like this question, was it based on competitive aspect, or was it based on just like
no?
In general?
It's honestly based like on a general aspect, but I also think like competitively goes into it because I think it goes hand in hand with getting that connection with the casual viewer base. But I think the casual viewer base would be probably the most important when it comes to this. And I think the question is, it can go both ways, but I think probably focus on just like the main player base. And what they want to see or what they want to play. And
just give them the option to pick.
Yeah, I just think that right now you have to think about it, right? Third person, first person. Solos, duos, squads, right? Then on top of that, you have 4 maps. That is a fuck ton of queues. That is stupid amount of queues. I don't know, what is that? 24 queues, right? If I'm not mistaken, if I'm not crazy.
It just feels like they're saying, we made this map, we know none of you like it, and nobody's going to play it, so we're just going to force you to play it because we made it.
Well, and I'll get to that in a second of actually talking about like, can they just fucking axe like a couple maps? Like what would it be a disaster if PUBG came out tomorrow and said Sandhawk's out of the game? It's gone. It's fucking gone.
Absolutely. Well, they could just do it as a seasonal event.
I mean, they could do it for Vikendi, and I think like maybe they might get a couple complaints, but I don't know.
I think it should just be more like when they do their season thing, you earn like double points if you play this map, and it forces people to play it.
My opinion, like no one plays Vikendi, and everyone who plays Sandhawk is because bootcamp, and they just want the fast killing stuff and like that. But like PUBG Elite has right now, they have the 4 versus 4 deathmatch map, but we don't have it, and that's why people like Sandhawk, because it's you drop, you kill, and when you have killed everyone on bootcamp, you just pretty much quit the game.
Yeah. There's 25 people alive after that point. But I think that's something that it was kind of like the thought process of it is like, okay, so they added Vikendi, right? Like, all right, great. I like Vikendi as a map sometimes because I think the public games are played better on that map than others in a lot of sense. Not so much on like a competitive level, but I think the public games, there's way more people alive on Vikendi. There's a lot more constant fighting through the mid game because there's 60 or 50 people up. Unlike Sandhawk where there's like 20 alive. But my question and like my thought is, once you release something like that, once you release a game like that, can you take it away without uproar, you know? And that's kind of my fear of them pulling a map like that and being like, let's go back down to Erangel and Miramar, just have 2 maps. We'll fuck with the southeast corner of Miramar this month. 3 months from now, we'll fuck with the northwest. Erangel get a little update. Rozhok get a couple extra buildings on the outside every now and then, just to kind of keep it fresh. Can they live off of that? And will people be okay with it? That's like my big worry.
The thing is, Jabroni, if you actually look at it, what BRs do really, really well, right? So the BR that makes the most money in the world right now is Fortnite, right? What does it do well? It creates things that people want to buy. If you want to make it like, my problem right now with PUBG is, yes, I do like having multiple maps in the competitive scene, but a lot of resources go into creating these maps. And let's be honest, the fact that PUBG Mobile makes more money than PUBG PC, because why? It makes fucking skins, non-stop content for people to buy. People don't really care too much about the average person, just wants to look cool whilst playing the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Put all the effort that you're putting into making Vikendi, free to play for a start, and then make skins. Nobody wants a stat track double barrel shotgun. Nobody.
You're not wrong.
I bought it.
I swear to God, the PGC skin is going to be like the 1911 pistol or something, because they just love fucking trolls.
They can't fuck this up. There's
Yeah.
no. It's just,
No, they can, and they will.
They can't fucking do
And
it.
they
man.
will.
No,
They can't do it, bro.
No. Listen to me. The pan, the fucking phase pan and Gen G pan, like that. I assume that was made a while ago, and I know that man's
hope so.
fired now. He's fired.
Well, you've seen what they said.
He's fired.
No,
The MPL Batman, the
They said
Batman,
the
he's
lead
fired
time on
too.
skins is like three or
they
4
probably
months.
runs the fucking division.
Look,
The bat
So
guy and
by
the
the-
pan guy runs the division.
no, they're all fired, and by now, and I know this is true. Right? It's got to be true. By the time the
can't be,
PGC, it just can't. I can't do it anymore.
Did you not read the Discord? They say they make the skins 4 months in advance. There is no way that they are going to release a fucking good skin for PGC. It's already been made 4 months ago by the same people who made the goddamn pans and made the goddamn bat. It's going to be a fucking travesty.
It's gonna be a fucking socks or something.
Well,
Yeah, it's going to be a
Socks
fucking
will be lit.
scarf.
I think Berlin last year was a really good sign of like when they released those. Like there was backlash, like serious backlash when they released those skins, and it was like, what the fuck are these? So hopefully,
I got like 9 free Team Liquid hoodies.
I got like 5 or something like that. But like it was just one of those things where it's like, hopefully they can go off that and be like, all right, let's we got to do a little better than that this time. They should know, and I kind of have faith in that.
Yeah, you guys,
Look,
the problem is with you guys, I'm telling you right now, is none of you put money into the game. I have zero faith in what they're going to do, because I've been saying for years, they're going to do this.
Yeah,
they're
but
gonna
we're all like, I'm definitely optimistic, but I think everybody in here for the most part is, I need PUBG to do well. I don't know about you guys, but like, PUBG doing well is pretty fucking good for me.
By no means am I optimistic. Listen, by no means am I optimistic,
Realistic.
but it just, if you think about it, like, how could they possibly, like, it's just not humanly possible to fuck this up, is it?
Yes,
like, how can
it is.
how? It's just like,
MPL jackets.
I've had fucking 8 concussions and a traumatic brain injury, and I could fucking make this succeed more than people that went to college for this shit. Like, that's a fucking problem. A big fucking problem.
Well, this is it. This is it. We don't know, and we're just expecting them. We all sit here and think there's no way they can fuck this up, but they always find a way.
I mean, we definitely don't
They
know.
came out with the thing that they came out for to promote the phase gunner was a crowbar skin.
I
Who sat in that fucking meeting and said this is a good idea? This will
don't know.
sell
I
well.
don't.
You know what
That's
sells
why I
well on the
said they
mobile
gotta-
game? People dressing up as a goddamn piece of corn. What did they do here? They're in a lion skin where you makes it look like you have a dick. You know what I mean? And then it gets removed from the game because everyone's flapping around with a dick between their legs. Why? Because they're fucking idiots. They don't know what they're doing.
Holy shit, bro. All right. Well, Tribizzle telling it how it really is. I like it. I
You
bought
expect them
the.
to come out with an M4.
I don't know. I don't know what to think. I don't know what to think anymore. Just get me off this topic before my internet goes
I have
out.
faith. I have faith. All right. So, guys, now that's enough about the maps. All right. Bang out the maps. Maps interesting. Yeah, cool maps. New maps. Old maps. Can we get rid of maps? There's a lot going on there. There's a lot of unknown in that department. But we're gonna take a little turn here. Okay. This one might get a little heated for a couple minutes. All right. But then we'll end on a high note. All right.
Just bring the fucking heat, because I can't think about the skin shit
PGC is coming
Wonderful.
up. Okay.
Let's go.
Okay.
All right.
All right, here we go. I'm ready.
We have.
I need another drink.
Yeah. Now, before we get into all the happiness of let's talk about teams we're looking for, and who do you guys think is going to perform? How is NA going to do? Blah 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 blah. All that. Before we do any of that, I want opinions. How important is PGC for PUBG in the future? For competitive in the future? Does this event need to be a Nations Cup? Because Nations Cup, I remember that event fucking killed it.
Yes.
Tiikzu's laughing right now because I made a tweet a while ago about how
We got second.
Los should go to Nations Cup. Tiikzu, I love you, by the way. But yeah, that's why he's laughing, because every time I bring okay. That event fucking killed it though. That event was sick. On Twitch it killed it. Everyone was watching. How important is this event, not only for competitive, but for all of you guys individually, right? Because everyone here is somehow invested in this game. That's the situation that it is. Do we need PGC to absolutely pop off? Do we need the viewers to be killing it? Do we need a ton of support? Or can we still survive a little longer and try and progress? Or is this the last step? No, I know I am. Is this the last moment for them?
I don't think it's the last moment, but we definitely, we obviously, everyone, like you said, is invested in some way, shape, or form. So we want it to be successful. And but it's not like if it somehow goes poorly, which I don't see it going poorly. I don't think it's it for PUBG. You know what I mean? It's just hopefully a learning experience, but who knows? At this point, I don't know if they're just looking to fix everything that they're doing wrong. Obviously, on the last topic, that's clearly not the case in that department. But I don't think it's just I don't think that's it. If it just doesn't go amazing, it's just hopefully they just learn from it. But it is one of the biggest events, or is the biggest event that PUBG is going to have. So
it's exciting because when you get these, when the Nations Cup pulled at over 100,000 views, it shows that the interest is there in the game. Right.
Yeah.
I think it's very important, if they can pop over 100,000 viewers again, and realize that yes, there is interest in this game. So that reflect, there's a lot of people who want to watch it. Why don't we get that every week? Now, this is a little bit of inside information, but one of the things that we did say is, why the hell is PEL and MPL on the weekend? It competes with everything else. The much more established esports. Put it on during the week. Put it on a Monday or a Tuesday, and then you'll see the viewership go up. Because obviously, when Nations Cup does really well, and I guess loads and loads of views, and everyone's interested in it, and then you go down to the leagues and it's not as popular. Right? So if again, PGC pop gets up to 150,000 viewers, and then we all go back to our own things, and then no viewership again, something's disappeared, something's going on.
Okay. Hypoc, for you, as someone who's transitioned into a caster, obviously you did all of NPL phase 3. Do you feel worried, I would say, with the outcome of the end of the year here and the decisions or PGC and how it does? Do you feel worried about that going in the wrong direction, and let's say NPL turning into something that it was, or that it was not this year, and becoming smaller, or becoming online, or something of that nature?
I wouldn't say worry is the correct word.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's difficult to gauge because the you can't really gauge the popularity of like the esport as a whole based on like their one big major. Well, I say the biggest major of the year. I think the problem comes from obviously establishing the first year of the pro leagues and whatnot. The pro league viewership is always going to be less than your major events. That's just a
100%.
given. I don't think anybody's sat here, expecting MPL or PEL to have like 75k viewers like weekly.
What should it have, Hypoc? What do you think it should have?
I don't think there's a number you can equate to what something should have. It should be
What would
better.
you say is acceptable?
Acceptable to who? Org
No,
owners, or the developers?
Yourself, as someone who's in, what would you say is acceptable number for viewership? I would say a game is popular because you got to remember, we still log into Steam. You see that there's like 300, 400, 500,000 people playing the game, right? You should be able to get 5% of that, right? 3%.
Yeah, but you're delving into a different issue about advertising. Then
For sure.
there's absolutely no correlation between translating casual player base to viewers.
Well, there's
right now.
interest, right?
There's interest, but if it's not continuously being translated, then that's just always going to be an issue. I think if we were in a position where both pro leagues, I'm talking about PL and MPL, in terms of like Western audience were averaging between 10 and 15k, then we'd be in a pretty good spot.
I think between 15 and 20 would be absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, okay. I mean, the problem right now is that with the numbers we have,
and it's being streamed on multiple places.
Sponsors look at it and they're not interested because it's not worth a solid investment. I think when you delve a bit deeper than that, that comes back to if we're talking about sponsors, we're also obviously talking about organizations coming in. The problem right now is, I mean, in an ideal scenario, you'd have 16 big brands in a pro league, right? In their respective pro league, and you'd have the combined viewership of, Evil Geniuses fans tuning in to see just the EG PUBG team, right? And then we get into this deeper issue, which is team streams, and yada yada yada.
Yeah, but there's a reason why these orgs aren't there.
Well, yeah, I'll come to you. Don't worry.
I'm not
going to start. I'm not going to start.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I was going to say there's a reason why they're not there.
So, and
that's why I think anyway.
Yeah, no. I definitely and I think someone, I forget it, maybe it was Civ that said it. He used the word concerned, and I think concerned is a good word. And now I think Tiikzu and Shrimzy for you guys, Crow Crowd and Ghost, both going to PGC. That's a huge performance in itself. Just being able to go to the global championship, being one of the teams to represent your region. Do you feel that same type of concern with, hey, I want to play in PGC, but if I go and I leave PGC and see that it had 19,000 viewers, I'm going to be fucking worried. You know what I mean? Like, do you guys feel that way? Or is it something where it's just, it is what it is, and, I'm going to play this game throughout, let's say, God forbid, what we were just talking about, we hit an online era next year where they're like, hey, we spent a lot of money on those pro leagues. We're going to cut back a little bit. We're going to play online here. And PUBG's going to take a huge hit there. Are you too concerned for yourselves in that regard? Not so much for the game, be a little selfish here, because this is a career, it's a job, you're putting time into it. You need to, obviously get something out of it. Is there that concern for you or no?
You can go.
I don't really, because I'm just a player. Of course, the numbers, if like example PGI last year was the viewer, like when I saw how many viewers there were from China, example, it was insane, and that was like pretty much shocking to me, because there was so many viewers from like Asia overall. But like I don't really think about it that way, because I'm just I hope PUBG is gonna do well, but I don't really.
Yeah. You don't want to get too caught up in the ifs and what about you, Shrimzy?
I mean, I somewhat agree, but at the same time, like, we're not in China, you know, like we're in the or I'm sorry, Ghost is in the MPL, you're in PEL.
But we're riding
And
the
like
coattails, right? We're kind of riding
yeah,
the Chinese wave here to kind
and
of
so
stay
like
afloat.
it doesn't really like the Chinese viewers don't really affect us because it's basically just based off of NA and what we're getting. So I mean, it definitely worries me there. And like for me personally, I kind of gave up a lot to take this career path. You know, I went to college for like 2 years, and then I got this opportunity, or I wanted this opportunity, so I kind of worked for it a lot, and I, you know, stopped going to college to take this opportunity. So yeah, I'm definitely slightly worried about it, but I mean, there's only so much I can do, so I guess not worrying about it as much as I possibly can and just focus on playing and doing what I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now, brother Tribizzle, you know, as yeah. Well, I consider, you're in an interesting position in all of this because hypothetically, you're the guy that cuts the checks for the players, right? And you've been very, very adamant on Twitter supporting players and trying to keep players being taken care of by orgs and, in a fair manner. And that's fantastic. But in this regard, when you're looking at a game like PUBG, when you're looking at the situation, when you're looking at a huge event like PGC, it's tough for me to not think you're in a position where you're like, okay, well, this better pop off or, I'm losing money here. We're spending and we're not making at all in this, and it doesn't look like things are going up. How important is an event like this to you, and the end of the year and the announcements that may come with it?
Honestly, I hope that PGC does well. But the problem is with me right now is that my biggest fear for PUBG is like PGC could do fantastically, right? It could bring in 250,000 viewers live on Twitch. Will that make people come into MPL phase 4? No.
Okay.
No, because look, from the side of things, our biggest problem now is, yes, I do advocate for the players being looked after, and there is orgs out there. There's a couple of us still in the league. Lazarus do it very well. You guys at Ghost are doing it well. I'm sure Tempo and MV and all that are doing it well too. But when half of it is like ramshackled, put together player, the amount of horror stories I got sent from players in the MPL who are being treated like dirt and the league does nothing about it, that to me is unacceptable. Mm-hmm. But the only way you're going to improve that is by making it an incentive for the orgs to come and play there. And now the biggest problem is with PUBG is they give you no information, right? We don't know. I'm hoping that after PGC, they turn around and be like, right, we've got all this planned for next year. Phase 1, year 1, it's a 5-year plan. Year 1's done. This is year 2, but they should have told us this 6 months ago, right? Because look, we got to fight for those of us not going to PGC, like myself. I've got a 5-month break right now, so I'm playing. I don't turn around to my players and be like, "Oh, there's nothing for you to compete in. We're not paying you for the next 5 months."
Right.
So that's going to be a $80,000 investment for 5 months of nothing, right? Why?
Right.
What other pro league takes 5 months off? What, where's the incentive for orgs to stick around? Where is, what is it? And where's the incentive for us to look after the players? How many people right now do you think have dropped their teams after that phase and are going to retain the spot and then look to re-sign people next year? How is that fair on the players?
Yeah.
Right.
I somewhat agree. I was actually very surprised when we got the dates and we saw it was going to end so early. We were like, oh, we're going to end in September. Wow.
Oh, yeah, we're just going to box it off in 4 weeks.
Like, all right.
Great. Why?
Yeah, that was pretty interesting.
I mean, my worry is that, as you said before, I reckon within 6 to 12 months, this game will go back to online because they're not going to keep forking the money out to keep that OGN studio going. That OGN studio will be remodeled into something else, probably PUBG Mobile, because that game actually makes money.
Well, and it's kind of interesting, Cloud9 and OpTic are the two big examples. And I use them as big examples because they had good teams, and that's kind of why, there's a lot of other orgs that have left, but if you're not competing in a top 5 of your region level, it's all right. I understand you leaving that team and not finding another one right away, but stuff like that was scary at the time. And I think, we've gone through the year and, Cloud9 leaving was like, oh shit, okay, that's fucking scary too. And now,
nobody cared. Nobody cared.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. If you're not having alarm bells ringing in that office when a team that is qualified for Worlds, there's a tier 1 organization, walks away because the reason is they don't communicate with us, that's alarm bells.
right. So, and it's just, I
But
do
it filters
feel.
down, Jabroni. It filters down. If you want the players and the coaches and the staff to be looked after, there needs to be good orgs in there. There needs to be a reason.
No,
for
for
them to
sure.
stay.
I
It affects everybody.
I completely
no
agree,
way
and that's
players should
kind of
be playing
why
for
I see.
$5,000 a month. There's no way.
Yeah,
There's not. You cannot be a professional player earning that little money, expected to go out and play and live in California, right?
yeah,
Look at other professional leagues. Their players get paid $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 a month. Why? Because of the one key word that PUBG seems to throw out the fucking window: rev share. Sort that out. Your orgs will filter back in. Your real ship will go in, wait sky high because all your orgs will be there. The players will be happy because they've got medical care. They're earning money that they can actually save, live, buy houses, cars, women, whatever they want to buy. I don't know. Everyone's happy, but it all goes down to the company. And if the company's not willing to do it, it's going to die. And I hope not, because it's the best. It is the best battle royale there is. But unless they pull the finger out of their arse and tell everyone what's happening, this game will be dead within 6 to 12 months.
damn, laying it all out on the line there. I have to say that my original question was like, how important is like PGC in the end of the year and all the announcements, and I feel like to you, very, very important.
It's not as important as you think. I mean, as I said, it can have all the viewership in the world, but unless they change their esports model, it's not going to change a thing.
Right. Well, that's why I'm hoping for some sort of announcement in a sense when it comes to, updates for how they're going to change it and how they're going to alter it to kind of, if you're an org and you're kind of putting the money down, that you can see and be like, oh shit, I should fix this, I should take care of this, I should do that.
But in the 2.5 years I've been involved, 2 years I've been involved in PUBG, how many people from PUBG have picked up the phone and called me?
What are the odds we get one on here? All right. This is a honest question here. So the NA man, we'll use the NA man that's in charge, right? Who's that? Alex Penn?
For esports, yes.
For esports, yeah, for esports. That's what I'm talking about. What are the odds? We call up Alex Penn, Mr. Penn. How you doing? Can come on the show? Get on the scope. Let's talk. What are the odds that happens?
He's gonna answer the call.
He might do by 2021.
Depends who's talking to him, but probably not. Yeah, I don't.
That's got it. He's on vacation.
I would like to say that, like, I would love. I would 100% love to have anybody who will come and talk, join me from PUBG Corp. That'd be fucking awesome. You're more than welcome. But I don't see that happening. I'll be totally respectful. I would love to see it. We could fucking do some one-on-one shit, whatever it. But I do think there needs to be some sort of, let me talk. Like somebody for PUBG just come out and say some words publicly. Even it's an hour. Let me ask you some questions, type of thing.
So
this is the way I see it. Go ahead, Gunner, you go first.
Okay, no, I was gonna say so. In Fortnite, they made like the little players union, right?
Yeah,
which I thought was pretty cool. Like that was a neat idea, right? And then I thought, like, I talked about it with Vegas today. I was like, you know what? What if we made a players union, right? Would that like change anything? But then Vegas, he slapped me with the facts right away. Like, this is, he said, hey you, and I looked at him and he just fucking whacked me right across the cheek. And I was like, what the fuck, dude? Why'd you do that? And then he said, if they don't listen to the orgs and they don't listen to these huge orgs that are leaving the scene and like could potentially even make them money, then why the fuck would they listen to us? And then, I looked in the mirror and I was like, you know what? I'm just a fucking idiot, I guess, because I never really thought about that. Like, why would they listen to the players or the players union if they're not even going to listen to huge, tier 1 organizations that want to still be involved in their game? But, I just thought I'd share that story. Go on, Bizzle.
I forgot what I was talking about now because I was thinking how offended I was that you got slapped in the face.
Yeah, it hurt. It hurt. I'm telling you right now, it hurt.
I mean, it's true. I mean, like I said, I've tried to fight on cases of other teams that are in the pro league right now, and that they sent me a copy of the contract that they were being forced to sign, and I was like, "There's no way a league should allow a player to sign this." And I'm talking about orgs paying nothing and taking 15-20% of their Twitch revenue and 40% prize pool. And my response that I got from PUBG was, "Yeah, we don't have a minimum standard."
Well, and that's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. I think it was after Split 1 or something. I don't remember the entire details, but it was former Denial going to Accelerate. And there was a lot there that was really, really messy when it came to contracts being transferred over, players being sold, spot being sold, and all of that. And it was something there where it was kind of like PUBG, both, and OGN. Just I don't know how much OGN actually has like in the say of it, but it was one of those things where they were just like, yeah, we don't control any contracts at all. We don't touch them. They're not on us at all. Like they're 100%. We're not involved, and that was their stance on it. And it was something that they didn't want anything to do with it. They didn't want any. Basically, they were like, not our problem. We'll hook you up if you're not going to get this, like with the hotel, like the normal stuff, but we're not going to touch this. We're not going to fight this for you. You guys are on your own. And it left the players out in a fucking shit fucking spot where they couldn't fucking do anything. And PUBG Corp needs to, be like, yo, you cannot fuck over these players. And the players need to be protected in some regard.
But who's going to do that who's going to do that, Jabroni? Because I've tried.
No, but that's the thing.
I got told no. Like at the end of the day, they knew that org was shitty before they signed with them, so it's their own fault.
Right, and that felt like the stance.
An acceptable response?
Yeah. Hey. I completely agree, and I completely understand because I brought it up with them at one point just to be like, hey, what's gonna happen here? I don't think anybody wants our game to be looked at that way and looked at in a way that like the players can just get hard fucked over. That's definitely not what we want.
The analogy I have of pub, like, has anyone seen Parks and Rec?
No.
Nobody's seen the show Parks and Rec, right? No. Really? You guys don't watch fucking TV?
I've seen it, but I don't
have cable.
Tom Swanson's fucking secretary, Amy, that's what PUBG NA feel like. They're just there to not let us get in contact with fucking Korea, right? Well, their whole job is to be like, yeah, we'll set up a meeting when? February 31st. See you then. 2:00. Like, they just fucking... their job is to delay, play fucking, shot stopper and fucking stop us from getting past them. That's what it feels like to me.
I can't leak, but it was nothing cool.
Like, that's what I feel like with NA PUBG, that's all I feel like.
All right. I wanna, this is obviously turned into a, an angry. Yeah, no,
exactly.
What the fuck did you expect?
I don't know.
When you put this cast together, you should have known this is a 4-hour minimum.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, but let's get into the lighter side of PGC here. All right, we're gonna end on a high. We're gonna end on a positive. We're gonna end on a happy note. Before we talk into some of the teams going and everyone's opinion of the teams going and things of that nature. Obviously, okay, Tribizzle, you asked if we could talk about this. I don't mind. Maluk's in there fucking spam me in the chat. I don't mind talking about it at all. Okay.
I was going to say,
I don't mind talking about it at all. All right.
Can I say it?
PGC. Yeah. Talk about it. Go. Wait, hold on. Let me read what Keenan posted because that was the exact post. What do people think about the PKL system where the Phase 3 winners auto qualification to PGC moves down to the next team if the winning team was going to qualify off points anyway? The NA teams with this system would be Tempo Storm, Lazarus, Genesis, Envy, and RuneScape. Riot Squad. We call them RuneScape.
See, I do not agree because I don't think that the way I think if you're doing it over 3 phases, because normally you do a phase when you do like it's normally over 2 phases like League of Legends, right? If you do it over 3 phases, one of the scores has to be mute because it wouldn't be fair to someone like yourselves, for instance, who are all in all 3 phases, and then you have a bad third. You say you had 2 great phases and 1 bad one, you didn't qualify. I don't think
wait, hold on. We had one.
You would qualify with 2 great ones, though.
Yeah, but say it worked out that they didn't, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
The only way I see of doing it is you either if you're in all 3 phases, only 2 phases count. So you either your best score or your worst score doesn't count. Normally, it should be like the the most recent one, and then the best score from the other two should count. That's the way I would.
It's an
do it.
interesting system.
So the phase 3 points count, and then the best point from either phase 1 from phase 2, because that way you're still getting the most recently good teams, and it should also count if your roster's changed. If you change your roster heavily, like one player should be like 20% deduction of points.
I mean, PEL didn't have any points from phase 1 at all.
Yeah,
Zero.
they only had, but I think that was because they didn't have relegations. Wasn't that like the biggest reason for that? Where those teams couldn't get relegated, so people like
Yeah.
But I mean, that doesn't matter.
No,
It's
I
4
completely
teams.
agree, but I think that was like they were like, oh well, teams couldn't come up in phase 2 or whatever, so you would have teams in phase 1 getting 2 chances before a team coming up from relegations got 1, or something along that lines, something like that. Now, what do you guys think like the best system is? Because obviously, like, we're a weird case, right? We qualified in 9th for this split, and it was definitely a weird situation, and I'm very like, honest about it. Like, yeah, it's fucking strange that we had to get 9th, but like we had the last day, and it's like, yeah, we can really, really try and win games here, or we can just try and control Riot Squad and Rumblers as much as we can, and if we can keep them out of the placements that they'll go, then we're fine. And that's kind of how we played. So we ended up losing a lot of points on that last day, 100%. And it was something where at the end of the day we finished in 9th, but that was the rules that were there. So in that sense, like a phase 3 or something, is the PEL system good? Is the NPL system good? How do we decipher our top teams being sent each phase? Or is it something where it's just like, it is what it is. That wasn't that bad. What are your guys' thoughts on
You
that?
can do it is by going off.
I mean,
phase.
so I also like, all right. Another reason why I think Korea has the system that it does is because they also have a pro league that like has another 8 teams in it, right? So they have 3 groups in their pro league where basically, one night groups A and B are playing and group C isn't playing, and then the next night, A is playing C with B having to make up 4 games. So, like I mean, I think that's one of the reasons why they also made it that way. Is so like since they have more and more teams playing, like it gives I guess a easier way for like a team that doesn't have as much global points previously could also make it in. I think that is why they kind of have it the system they do, but I would like to see it just be one system globally. Like, I mean,
Yeah, and I think it will
instance-
be
Me too.
in 2020. I think it's like they were pretty clear about unifying all the rule sets across the board.
yeah, exactly.
Tiikzu, what did you think of the PEL system that they had?
It is what it is.
It is what it
Yeah,
is. That's it.
Like, I can't really say anything like which one is better.
Right.
Like, because I haven't tried the other.
Yeah.
So it's pretty hard to tell, but it should definitely be like globally same. of
Okay.
all the pro leagues.
I mean, I think PEL system makes way more sense than an A system because like Rum got 4th phase 2, right? But they were like 5-10 points off 3rd, and then
Mhm.
like we were 2 points behind or 1 point behind
Cloud9.
C9.
Yeah.
So like if it was PEL, then they would have qualified over us for sure because we got 30 more championship points just because we got 1 place higher than them, and that 30 points like easily qualified us over them, which
So
is fucking stupid.
So you think the system that pretty much uses the actual points, because there is I don't know how many Cloud9 got for second and split 2, but like, yeah, we were 1 point off of them, and in the same regard, Rumblers was just right behind us too. There was a huge drop off from Cloud9 to Rumblers in championship points there. I don't know how, like, it was insane.
It was like 120 to 60.
Yeah, and it's like losing 60 championship points off of 6 points is pretty wild in that regard. You know what I mean? And I completely understand that, and I think if you altered that system in some way, I'm not too opposed with counting or not counting phase 1, to be honest with you. I think phase 1, like, that's a long time, 7 months or something like that, 6 months to go across the board. But I'm not too opposed to any system. I just think that there needs to be some sort of benefit for teams that have been there the longest.
What happens if they did, like, after the first 2 phases, they did like a mid-season? Invitational, and then the third phase, phase 3 was just a race to worlds.
Well, then that wouldn't.
Everyone's after the mid-season, everyone's points get reset, and then the last phase 3 is for the world championship.
It's not a bad idea, actually. Like,
They-
I mean, it's kind of like a League of Legends type thing. Like, I think it would definitely be something that should be looked into. Like, I mean, because that also gives newer teams that come into phase 3 an opportunity. But, you know, also with the current MPL system where first and second place auto qualify in phase 3, that also gave some newer teams an opportunity.
Yeah, I
as
think
well. Like,
that's great.
obviously,
I think
yeah.
that's great.
Okay,
So. I mean, that's
but League also MSI also has nothing to do with Worlds.
Worlds. No, I know, but
Yeah,
I
but-
mean, it could in this case, like,
Yeah,
for PUBG,
like I'm saying. Like if the first 2 phases, or you just had a major event after every phase, you know, or an event, at least an event after every phase, and then the points reset. I don't know. 3 phases is difficult. It's just so difficult to work out because, like I said, you're always going to have the argument as well. Oh, well, they only did well in 1 phase, but they still made it because they just hung around.
Yeah.
Versus, because, you know, versus the fact that do you want the world championship? Should it be the top 6 teams that season? But, you know, then is the amount of games in that phase enough to say who the top 6 teams are?
Yeah,
I don't
there's
know.
a lot of back and forth. As long as it's unified, I'm not too picky about it. But I would like to see a system more like PEL with the points that way.
Yeah, I think it has to be like 2 phases, like as an example, like it counted like points from 2 phases because I don't think it's fair. Like in PUBG, it's all about the consistency, like who's actually the best. And if, like example, N47 in PEL, they did really good phase 3. They got 6th, but they didn't have a chance to qualify because they need to win the whole phase. But also in PUBG, the teams can have a really good like phase. I don't want to be toxic. Example ends.
Right.
Phase 1, they won phase 1 like
By a
with
fucking
100
mile.
points.
Yeah.
They just destroyed everyone. Phase 2, 11th. Phase 3, relegations. So would that be fair to the teams who are consistent that they got a little bit worse phase, but not like bad phase, but still a newcomer came and they had like the momentum and honeymoon period and stuff, and they made it to the Worlds, and then they didn't even like well, nobody knows how they will make it in Worlds, but still.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting actually. I think that NA is a perfect example. If you look at the teams that are going, every single team that is going to Worlds in NPL has not dropped below the top 10 in all 3 splits.
That's
all
fair.
3 of them, right? Or all 5 of them. I'm sorry. And I think that is super important if you can maintain that, because it's not that easy, you know. And it's, you know, you see Tempo win 3 phases in a row and they absolutely dominated. But I do think that consistency is like the most important part. And if you can maintain that and not go into relegations and not do things of that nature, that's super important.
I don't know if this is just off the top of my head. What do you think of if you made points if you finished inside the top 6, and then you don't make points from like 6 through or 7 through 9, and then 10 through 16, you actually lose points.
I wouldn't.
So
yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to something like that.
If you fall out of like, if you do have a bad phase, you lose points from like 1 phase that you did well. So in the case of Ents, they would have won 1 phase and then lost points on the other 2, which would have gave people a
something like that.
a chance to catch up.
It's an interesting thought. Yeah, there's probably a billion different ways they can do it. But that's it for now. I just wanted to quickly touch on that because a lot of people, you know, it was hot on Twitter and it was hot on the competitive PUBG Reddit. So I had to, you know, make sure that we didn't dodge it too much there.
I think the right teams from NA went. That's all I'm going to.
Yeah, I think it was pretty good. I think Rumblers has performed pretty well. I wouldn't have been upset if Rumblers got a world spot. I think they're more than capable of playing at that level. Now, end on a positive here. All right, boys, we're gonna shut it down, but real quick, okay, we're talking about Worlds. I want a couple of opinions here. Don't fucking talk about your own team. I don't want to hear anything about your own team, okay? Teams going to World. Hypoc, I'm going to start with you. Who, right now, NA and EU only, who's the team for you that you think gets top 5 that probably shouldn't? So don't say Liquid, don't say FaZe. Give me some,
They probably shouldn't.
not probably shouldn't, but that isn't a sure-in, you know? I don't want to hear like FaZe is going to get top 5, like, you know, what a hot take, you know? Like what team do you think is most likely to make that run from NA or EU?
I think Tempo.
Your
this time
sleeper.
around.
Tempo.
Tempo haven't placed top 5 at an international event since WSOE, right? Start of the season.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Start of the season 2, they were like 6, I think.
They have 100% win rate with Sharp.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, Tempo's the NA team to watch for me. That kind of goes without saying.
I think Tempo. All right.
But we're talking about obviously an international event, so obviously this is the one I think they'll do well at.
Yeah. What about EU? Sleeper team for you.
There are no sleeper teams in EU. They're all nuts.
Yeah. I mean, I guess. All right.
I mean, obviously Tiikzu's there. I'd like to see Crow Crowd go and do well. That I think obviously given the last 2 phases performance of the players on that team, but interestingly enough, picking Tempo and Crow Crowd as the 2 I expect to make it in the top 5. They were the 2 teams that fucking fucked each other over at Faceit, but I'd go with that. Tempo and Crow Crowd.
All right. Tiikzu, not your team, but who out of NA and EU for you?
From NA, Tempo as well. And from EU, TSM.
TSM, fucking hot this split, man. Fucking killing it. They looked super, super good. I was expecting them to make a pretty good run for first there at the end, because I thought they were playing so good to start off, but then they kind of fizzled out a little bit. But we'll see how they do at the international. Gunner.
Yes.
Besides Lazarus.
I mean, obviously, like, if I can't pick Lazarus, I'm obviously gonna pick like Tempo Storm. They showed how consistent they are, and we all know who's on their team. Obviously, adding Sharp Shot, it definitely doesn't hurt them at all. But I mean, also, I think Envy showed that they could be a consistent team when they play confident. So that's possibly like that. I mean, they're the team I think that could really surprise everybody.
I agree.
I think honestly, with them, it comes down to their mentality. Like when they play, if they start off good, I think they'll have a solid run the whole time. If they start poorly, I think that's when they have a hard time recovering after that. But I think that team is a super sleeper team, and I think they're a great team. Obviously, I think all the NA teams going have a possibility to get top 5. But as far as EU, you said I can't pick FaZe.
Yeah. Can't pick FaZe.
So, I can't pick FaZe and Liquid, you said?
Yeah, I mean, even when you think about it that way, like it's still like, okay, you could really pick any of them.
Yeah, I mean, it just again, like it depends too. Like, I think TSM showed that they're they could be very consistent, and I know how good like Dids could be, and working with that team, and I saw like a lot of the changes that they made. So I think that they have a good opportunity, and again, everyone from EU, I think does. All the teams that they're sending are very good, and they'll have good opportunities. And is that we only going NAEU?
Yeah. I mean, you could, if you have specific people from across the world that you think are the teams to look out for, by all means.
I mean, if SKT ends up getting in, I think they're like, if anybody's watching PKL recently, like SKT they are frightening.
That's their first international, right? It would be, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it would be. And then, so they're crazy. I like, personally, I like watching Detonator. They're going to be there too. Media Bridge Square is my favorite Korea team, but they don't have enough points. Like, they stomp through contenders. So, like, they would have to actually win, which they're not going to, but they are my favorite team to watch. But probably SKT out of Korea. And then, like, VC at the PCL.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah.
Okay. All right, Mr. Tribizzle.
I'm going to disagree. I don't think Tempo Storm will do that well. I don't think they do well at. My opinion is they don't do well at international events for a reason. I think a lot of it in NA is that a lot of teams have this mental block against fighting them, and they just seem to make people perform worse. But every time they go to an international stage, they just get bowled. So I just think that I honestly think if I was a betting man, which team finishes higher, I would say probably Lazarus. I don't know. I don't know. I think maybe Lazarus. I would like to say you guys as well, because you've got. I'd like to say Ghost as well, because I think Shrimzy is fantastic, and he's got the best Twitch sings stream. That's Twitch TV/Shrimzy. He's got a beautiful voice.
I got plugs everywhere.
Yeah, make sure you drop him a follow, like, subscribe, and the rest. But one thing I would like to start. We got 2 coaches from 2 teams going right now. I think we should have some sort of forfeit on who finishes below who. I think that's. Dude,
I already got a beard going. This is my Nations Cup beard that Drassel forced upon me.
I think it doesn't matter. EU or Asia are probably going to win. I hope an NA team does it for the sake of NA. I think it'd be tough, but I want to see something between the 2 coaches here.
Okay, all right.
The loser dyes the loser dyes the beard the other team's color.
What?
So bright white.
Wait, oh, okay. You can do the bro. I was gonna say I get fucked there.
And bright pink for you. I mean, yours is already pretty ginger. So.
All right, let's do it.
Mine is ginger. It actually is like super ginger.
Let's do it. If we do better than you, you go pink beard.
I go pink, bro. I don't know if I can go pink beard.
You're going full pink beard, bro.
How long am I going pink beard for?
Oh, you only have to do it. You can shave it off afterwards.
I mean, I'm thinking a minimum week. There's a minimum
a week. All right, we can do.
I'm gonna walk around for a week with a pink beard.
Minimum.
Oh,
yes,
it's gonna make you work hard.
Wait, do you not trust us?
If you trust,
wait, do you not trust us?
We're gonna be flying into Hacienda, fucking day 1, coming down on top of you guys. Like,
look,
all right, boys.
The
decisions have changed.
Let's go.
Yeah, that's right. All right, fine. Pink beard. Fine. Pink beard.
Okay, good.
Don't fucking make me regret this.
I think EU is is what it is. Phase up.
All right, Shrimzy, what about you, brother?
From NA, I'd definitely say Lazarus, and then from EU, obviously, that's pretty fucking obvious. That shouldn't have to say it.
Easy. All right, guys, ready? Gen G, Korea. That I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, sure.
That fucking watching you, the coach of Gen G. I don't know what he's a fucking genius. All right, everything he's at. Yeah, but everything this man is at, I don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is, but he is just like they're always playing their best in international events. I think they're gonna fucking dominate. That being said, from NA, I think Envy could get 30th or they could get 3rd. Like, I honestly think Envy has a potential to have a huge event and finish top 5. I think they're super good. I think having Pride on the team is fucking huge for them, and I think that they've been fucking killing it, and I think they've been super confident.
Mm-hmm.
I think Lazarus will probably perform as well. Maybe another 2nd. Who knows? And then on that note, EU's weird for me because I feel like Navi's going to leave a lot to be desired. And I think that it'll be a guaranteed top 5 for FaZe. I could see Liquid not quite getting there, being maybe in the finals, but finishing around like the 9-10 area, something like that. But those are my thoughts.
Can we all agree that we all think that FaZe is going to be top 3, like for sure?
I think FaZe is a lock top 3 in my opinion. Like, I'm being completely honest. I really do. I think they're like a hard lock. They're playing fucking nuts, and I think
anybody would be stupid to say otherwise in terms of expectations, at least.
And it's kind of crazy to think about that, like in PUBG. You know what I mean? To have a team that you're like, yeah, that team's a fucking hard lock top 3. You know, I don't like. It's a weird game to have something like that because there's so many teams who go to events, and you expect them to be, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and they finish 15th. Or you expect them to be 12th and they finish 3rd. There's a lot of back and forth. It's not easy to speculate in this game. Gentlemen, that's going to be it. Thank you so much for joining us. Very quickly, if you can just plug all your shit. Tribizzle, you're up first. Go.
www.twitch.tv/Shrimzy.
Okay, Shrimzy, go ahead.
www.twitch.tv.
All right, we don't need the www. Okay, thank Jesus fucking Christ. All right, Hypoc.
I mean, I guess, yeah. www.twitch.tv/MachineGunner USMC. Where we're going with that trend, right?
Okay, Tiikzu.
I'm Tiikzu in everywhere. Every social media.
Thank you, somebody who has
Two
fucking
eyes.
sanity. Yeah, 2 eyes. Yeah, hey, I mean, he has his name on it. And Gunner, last but not least.
www.twitch.tv/Hypoc. Like, follow, subscribe.
This
I
page
stream
no longer
often.
exists.
I stream off. The fact that you all
This
said
is not the stream you're
www made me
looking
want to die. I hated that. Guys, I love you all. Thank you for joining me. Thank you everyone for watching. This will be up on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, this will be live sometimes when I tweet it, twitch.tv/Jabroni. If you guys have any comments, questions, concerns, or any topics that you think we should talk about in the future, sorry for the internet problems, but we're going to pretend they didn't happen because Koi's going to cut them out. I love you all, and goodbye.
Thank you for having us.
If I lose you